Hey guys, what's going on? Hope you all doing good out there today, and really appreciate as usual you guys taking some time to watch the video. I definitely don't take that for granted, and the comments I get from you guys, I get so many comments a lot from the same people that have been watching the channel for a long time, and I just want to thank everybody out there that has really become loyal followers of the channel. Man, it's much appreciated, and I definitely don't take that for granted. And I'd like to invite, if you guys want to help the channel out, if you guys would like to help what I'm doing here, help my family out, help the channel, just share these videos with your friends. Ask them to subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'd like to invite you to do so. That's really the big part of the thing that keeps me doing these videos is the subscriber base. So anyway, I hope you guys can sort of help out there a little bit. Much appreciated. And man, today I'm going to show you guys, and I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to give you guys my overview of it's just the best spinnerbait I've ever used. I'm going to talk about this Megabass Sd3 spinnerbait, and I'm going to just show you and talk about it, why I think that this spinnerbait is the best one that I've ever used. There are a lot of spinnerbaits on the market, and basically you can only do so much with a spinnerbait. It's a skirt, it's a head, it's a wire, and it's some blades. But the key, guys, on making the big difference between having just a spinnerbait and a truly great spinnerbait is the quality of the components on it. And I want to talk about this Megabass Sd3. At the Toyota Series Championship last week, I caught the biggest bass. I caught my biggest bass of the tournament that allowed me to finish tied for 10th in the tournament on the Sd3 spinnerbait. Very first cast with it, first day of the tournament, 4.5 pound smallmouth. And I'm going to show you guys why I like this spinnerbait so much, especially why it's so good in the fall time of the year. If you guys are interested in any of these Sd3s, they have them at Bait Works here in Springfield, Missouri. You can either swing by the shop and pick them up, or you can order them online. And I'll include the link in the description to the Bait Works tackle store. And if you use that link, it helps the channel out here. So it helps get a small percentage of those profits. So much appreciated to use the link there. Okay, guys, let's talk about this a little bit. I'm going to go over the spinnerbait in detail. Now, this is the Megabass Sd3 spinnerbait. The attention to detail on the spinnerbait is second to none, and I'm going to talk to you guys why it's not just like a normal spinnerbait. Megabass has made spinnerbaits in the past, and they've been really lifelike, just like this, the lifelike head. Megabass is the one that originated the fish head on the jig heads and the spinnerbaits years ago. They've been copied tremendously. The problem you had initially with some of the Megabass spinnerbaits, and part of the growing process, is some of the wire was a little bit too thin, designed to increase the vibration. But what happened is, after you caught 3 or 4 fish, they'd get bent up and the wire would get weak. So I'm going to go over head to detail on this particular spinnerbait and show you why this thing's great. First of all, let's look at the head there. The realism of that head is second to none. This thing looks like a minnow coming through the water. It's not just like a conical shaped piece of lead like most spinnerbaits. There's actually a visual strike attractant. It has gills on it. It's got eyes. And guys, bass are sight feeders. They rely on their sight anytime that they can. So the attention to detail is critical. So the head right there is simply the lifelike look of the head is a big deal. But second to that, the design of this head is one of the things that allows this spinnerbait to come through the water straight as a string. And this is especially important. I don't care if you're reeling the spinnerbait slow or if you're burning a spinnerbait. You've got to have a spinnerbait that tracks true. And this head design really helps with that. Second on the thing is the skirt, the way it's tied. There's no need for a trailer on there. It's got a built-in trailer out of some thicker silicone here at the bottom. And this is the only bait, guys, that I use stock out of the package with a skirt. You guys have seen, here's one of my skirt boxes here. You guys have seen that I tie all my own skirts for my spinnerbaits and the jigs. This Sd3 spinnerbait is the only bait that I use stock out of the package, simply because you can't duplicate the way that this trailer hangs down like this, and the colors are second to none. Now I'll trim it up a little bit. I'll, make the skirts a little bit uneven. But another thing about this, what is really cool, is this thing is hand tied right here. There's no collar on this spinnerbait that allows the collar to rot over time. And eventually most spinnerbaits that have collars, the collars will rot, your skirt will fall off. This skirt is going to stay on for years on here. It's not ever going to come off. You're going to lose the spinnerbait before you lose the skirt on it, which is a big deal. Okay, now let's take a look at the hook. Here's the big deal right here. See that keeper right there? This keeper right there allows any soft plastic trailer, spinnerbait trailer you have, to stay on there. You know, it's really, you know, meaty and big. You can't hardly pull it off when it gets on there. You can fish with the same trailer all day long because of that keeper. The hook on this thing, one other thing I like about this is a super stiff, but it's a fairly small, it's like a 3/0 hook on there. I think one of the biggest downfalls of a lot of spinnerbaits is they have a big honking stainless steel hook on there, like a 5/0. You don't need that. All you need is stiffness on there. If you have a bite gap that's this big, I don't care if you have a 20-pound bass, the stiffness of this hook and the gap is going to hook that fish perfect. It's a nano-coated, real slick hook, easy to add a trailer hook on there. Wire on the thing is a perfect diameter. It's a fairly stiff wire, yet it's not obtrusive. It matches the profile of the skirt perfectly. This wire on the arm here, it doesn't bend out. You can catch hundreds of fish on it. Will never break. And then the blade shape, again, you've got a really high quality sample swivel on the thing, and then you got a really unique stamped willow leaf spinnerbait on there. It's got a stamp on there that creates a different type of flash. But guys, I fish spinnerbaits a lot, but I don't fish them as much as other baits. Most of the spinnerbaits I fish, they've got to be biting it pretty good before I fish one. It's sort of like a Carolina rig. It's not a bait that I pick up right off the bat. I love to burn a spinnerbait. I love to slow roll big spinnerbaits and fish them in really dirty water. But guys, I'm telling you right there, I am so impressed with this SV3 spinnerbait. You gotta seen that 4.5-pound smallmouth head that I threw up against this bluff bank, and I cranked it about 4 cranks, and this fish came out of nowhere and just clobbered this thing, man. But I love this spinnerbait, man. This is the greatest thing, the greatest spinnerbait I have ever used. And prove me wrong. If you guys try one of these things and you think that there's a better spinnerbait out there, let me know. I should have been using it at the Grand Lake Bass Open. If you guys know, I used a Terminator spinnerbait the second day of the tournament. I broke a big fish off when it broke the wire on it. I'll never use another one again. Should have been using the SV3 spinnerbait from the start there. But at the time, I didn't have one that had big enough blades on it, so I just picked that one out of my box. So anyway, guys, give them a try. SV3 spinnerbait by Megabass. You can get them at Baitworks. I'll include the link in the description. You will not be disappointed, I promise you. I love the thing, man. I'm going to be using it over the next month down at Table Rock a lot. So thanks for watching the video, guys. Much appreciated. Please hit that subscribe and the like button. That'd be definitely appreciated. And we'll see y'all later for the next one.